A 300 volt power supply, what really needs to go in there? Good afternoon, YouTube. Here on this Monday, it's 4:37 now, as I sit here and talk about this power supply once more. Well, there's the, I forgot to tell you that, or show you that, but I did put a picture of it. That's the screw that I found. It's the same size nut, and everything was the same on it, except for it's just slightly a different color, which, you know, it doesn't matter. So all the screws now are present, which is good. Very good. So now I'm discuss today the options that I face, or what I'm going to have to do, things like that. I don't have all the parts yet from Bob. These are the parts he has sent so far. These are the power supply parts, the FET. Looks like a insulator he put in there too, some other resistors and stuff, and so those are in there, but the the fan control circuitry has not been sent, as the fan hasn't either, so kind of waiting on that. Don't know how much of this I'm going to have to use. I do have this to put on somewhere, and now this doesn't have to attached to the circuit board. This can be anywhere on the inside, and can be zip tied to something or something like that. Now it will obviously, you know, it could be made to go on the circuit board. It's not a big deal one way or the other, but you know, I'm trying to figure out how to do this with as little of space used. Now there's the width of it, so you can see it's basically about half the size of the circuit board, so you know, I could get by with that if need be. As far as the other components, like I said, there's two transistors on the main circuit for the power supply itself. Now I forget now if there's supposed to be more than that. Seems like there's diodes on the other part of it, and resistors and capacitors, I think, is all of it. And so anyway, the sensing unit for the fan, I think, gets either mounted or close to the heat sink for turning on the fan when necessary. So I'll have to talk to Bob for sure about that, but I think that's how it works. On the front is going to be obviously the meter. We've talked about the meter going right here. I think to make this come out the best way possible, I'm going to put my meter as far up as I can get it this way, and then that will leave me room for the outputs here, plus and minus, red and black, whatever you want to set, however you want to set. That is what I'm going to do there, and that will leave all the rest of this on this side for I think 4 different. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 on the filaments here. And then there will be a potentiometer, which is a 10-turn pot. I wanted to see exactly how much space I have between there and the, what do you call it? If I could. Give me a measurement of that. It's looking like, let's see, I'm looking at the wrong end. I don't really care for this, but I guess I can do it the opposite way. It looks like inch and a little over an inch, about 1.5 inches maybe, of space there between the transformer and where the thing will mount. Now I think that whole thing was only 1 inch and something in length, and that didn't include, or you know, that means that the body of it is going to be less than that because it's got a shaft sticking out. So I think that will fit okay, no problem. That was my biggest worry, concern, whatever you want to say, since I worked on this last, and I got to thinking about it because I'd forgotten all about that pot that had to go in there. And like I said, I ordered the 10-turn pot to make a little bit finer adjustment. So that should work. Like I say, and then I will have the power switch, which I'll probably use one of Wally's switches for that. The rocker switch is just on and off. and so that's probably what I'll use for it. Now that's going to be the extent of the front components, and I do believe I'll have plenty of room for that to get all those in there. My plan is to put the faceplate on like this and mark the back so that I'll know. Let's see, I don't know if this is the good one or the one that fits that or not, but anyway, mark the back where I know where the meter has to be drilled out or mounted. That just doesn't want to fit. Not sure why. Anyway, I'll mark the back to where the plastic comes to, so I'll know where the meter can be put in, and I'll cut the hole for the meter and mount it. I think it will mount, yeah, it just mounts into this part here. It doesn't go into the plastic anywhere. So that should give us plenty of room for the two outputs below that. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it will. And the 4 that go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, there's plenty of room for those. Basically, I'll have two 6.3, and I'll have a diagram on there where if I want 12, I'll hook up between the two outside ones and get 12. And I think Bob said something about putting a switch in for that, and I said, I'm not so sure about that. I don't really have enough room for another switch. So, or I think he was just talking about putting in a 6 and a 12 volt switch and just having two outputs. But I kind of want the dual outputs just in case I want a 6.3 and a 12. I can do that, and that would work better, I believe. Be more versatile, I guess is the word. But again, like I said, the on-off switch and the potentiometer goes up here, and I think I'm going to mount that as high as I can because this goes in even further on the top. So that's the two I have to go there, and that should do the front. Now the back, again, I had mentioned this before. I was going to take and cut some holes in this, but since then I think I've discovered, or not discovered, but figured out that I believe I'll get better air circulation through here, through that vent and underneath, than I would from the back. I just don't think that's necessary. Again, the fan, now Bob seems to think it should be mounted next to the vent, but I think I'm still going to mount it here, blowing this way with the transistor, the FET on this side of it, let it blow right straight across that, and I think that should be the best way to do it. Because that draws in air, cool air from this side, goes across the transformer, cooling that. You know, I'm not saying it's going to cool it great, but it will cool it enough. And this is not going to get that hot, just like I pointed out last night. It is not going to get that hot. So, like I said, I don't have to put it right there. Also, I have considered, thought about, putting a mounting plate. I have plenty of the license plates left. With just the fan cut out, so that basically there's a blockage between here and there, and it just, in other words, it sucks air straight across here, and it would give me a better flow, I think. I'll do it without it first and see how it goes, but I may just use something like that license plate to make me an L bracket here to mount the fan and go from there. But that's just some ideas on there. Now, again, this can be mounted almost anywhere. I can mount it to like this, up, and I don't want to, obviously I don't want it you know, available to be touched unless it's, you know, off. Also, I have reconsidered, there is the diagram. I don't know that I'm going to ground the center lug to the, or use a two-prong cord on this or not for sure, partly because the potential between the output, if it's up high, and the case, in other words, if I'm plugging something in and just happen to touch the case and the what do you call it, I could get 300 volts right there, and I don't really want that. Now these here are isolated from the case. These are not part of the case. There's plastic between there, so these would not have case, you know, not voltage, but case ground potential on it. The only thing would be the top and the bottom. That's the only two things that would be grounded. So again, but if I did that and touched this and that, I just don't know. I haven't decided yet. You know, it's okay for radios and things like that, but I think for test equipment, I don't think it should be always done that way. Because you have you basically, when you isolate something, you're trying to get away from that earth ground. And I just don't see that being a good deal, having earth ground right there. You know, that's just my thought on it, though. So, you know, you guys weigh in on this if you want to. I don't care. So that's just a look at everything. I think it's got to go in there. If I forgot anything, you know, I think I remembered it all. But so anyway, that's where I'm at with this project, and like I said, everything is going well. So I'm happy about that. And like I said, I still haven't decided what to do about the feet, but I think I am going to put one here. I may have to notch it out for that bolt, or maybe even just put it up here like that. Long as it goes through the you see it's going through the plastic and the metal there. I don't know if I can do that or not. We'll have to look at it. Now I can mount it there. It's no problem to mount there. And that's probably, yeah, that's just exactly where they were before, really, down on the level wise, right here. So, you know, that's where they were at before. So I basically put them here and here and here and here. I think they'll be fine. But I think I'm going to, again, put the washers in there and have some kind of spacing to where it comes, you know, it doesn't, the transformer, I don't want it sitting on the ground. I want there to be air coming underneath there like that. Lift it up a little bit. So that's that. You'll notice or you already have noticed if you're watching this far, I did a little bit of a tweaking on my intro. I got to playing around with some stuff last night, and at first I took the DERB and just ran a multicolored layer, or like a wheel behind it as far as changing colors, and it was alright. But then I got the idea, I thought, well, you know, there's that DERB is a transparent thing, so anything I put behind it shows through. So I thought, well, you know, that'd be kind of neat to put DERB as what it is. It's Doug, that's me, and the first on the D, and then electronic is the electronic components are on the E, and then repair is on the third one, R, and you can see the repair technician there, his hand down there in the, what do you call it, and the bench is last for bench, repair bench. So you can see the bench in that picture. I thought that was kind of neat. It goes by pretty quick, but it's kind of neat, and then it just fades back into the original desk scene that I put on there. I could change that, I guess, but it is alright, I guess, the way it was. And I did change the music just a hair, I just made it run a little bit longer than it used to run, because I had cut it off for some reason. I don't even know why, long before the video had cut off. So now it runs as long as the video does on the top. So I think that's a better situation. And like I say, it will fade right into the opening scene or whatever. So that's just me playing around. That's about it, I think. Basically, I just want to kind of waiting on the stuff to come in for this, and I have a few other things ordered. Waiting on the radio from Bill whenever he gets that shipped out. And like I said, we'll go on to the next thing here. I'm going to try to box this up, and because really that's all the further I can go for right now, until I know exactly what I'm doing and how this is going to work out. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see ya. Fooled you, didn't I?